The United States holds a powerful seat at the United Nations, but while the superpower has been lauded for helping the world body resolve some conflicts, it has also been accused of hindering progress in others. And as this year's General Assembly kicks off, CCTV's UN correspondent Liling examines the tone the U.S. is setting in this era of multiple crises.
The United Nations and the United States. For decades, the relationship has been like a classic love affair. Enthusiasm one moment, frustration the next, but both needing each other in good times and perhaps even more in bad times.
The US is the default leader at the UN. It pays nearly a third of the budget. It is absolutely central to all discussions in the Security Council.
On the whole, the United States remain indispensable to the United Nations because other countries, including other powers, cannot do much unless the United States has also come along.
Case in point, the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, in which Security Council action has been limited by the U.S. because America is a council member and a strong ally of Israel.
On the question of for the Palestinians, there's a tremendous amount of rejection and objection to what the United States is trying to achieve.
The stalemate may frustrate the UN and hit at its global credibility, but Washington doesn't always get what it wants either.
Obama has, I think, brought a little extra energy to US-UN relations, but he's also been disappointed by the UN's failure to deal effectively with Syria and with Ukraine.
Washington wants to hold Russia accountable for its role in the Ukraine conflict, but the Security Council has not been able to budge because Russia is a council member. And Russia and China have both blocked measures against Syria.
Almost every big power stops the UN interfering with crises that are of special interest to it. So yes, the US keeps the UN from resolving the Israel-Palestine conflict. Equally, China keeps the UN out of issues in the Western Pacific. So I don't think we should be too critical of the US for being selective at the UN.
Good evening.
President Obama will be taking advantage of the Council's rotating presidency and chairing a council meeting that coincides with the General Assembly this week. He's expected to focus his remarks on the problem of foreign terrorist fighters in Syria and Iraq. This will mark the second time Obama has chaired such a meeting, following a session in 2009 when a resolution was passed on nuclear weapons. No other U.S. president has ever chaired a Security Council session. With this extraordinary meeting, the U.S. isn't just setting the tone for the General Assembly. It is driving much of the agenda. Apart from dealing with the IS threat, it is also a key player in climate change and the biggest contributor to the fight against Ebola. So despite its differences with other powers on the Security Council, it appears the U.S. is, for the moment, chalking up big points with the world body. Liling, CCTV, New York.